Hi, I'm David Perry, and I'm a synthesizer fanatic. My first synthesizer was an ARP 2600, which is the older brother, larger brother of this. This is the ARP Odyssey. ARP, sadly, is all gone. Alan Perlman died a couple of weeks ago. Dave Friend died a couple of years ago. But this synthesizer has been one of the favorites in all of time. It has 2 voltage-controlled oscillators. And I want to talk about this briefly. Bob Moog decided that for every octave that you go up, it's 1 volt. That's called exponential voltage change. So each half step has to go up the 12th root of 2. So there's actually a lot of scaling going on here that's difficult. And the scaling on this instrument is absolutely solid. So you're controlling the voltage-controlled oscillators, you're controlling the voltage-controlled filter, and you're controlling the voltage-controlled amplifier. Now, I'm going to let Matt come in here and do some playing and give you a patch, because I'm not a keyboard player. But this is an excellent, we updated this. I'll talk about that after Matt gives you a basic. Don't use the effects yet. We'll talk about that later. Okay? We've added a lot of stuff to this. This is not just like an ARP Odyssey. It has a sequencer. It has an arpeggiator. It has MIDI input and output. It has a USB. You can connect, and it has an effects box here. The effects are digital. They're Clark Technic effects, and they're awesome. I've got it set up with an echo. So with the echo, I'm going to play the sequence. We programmed that. You cannot save the patch, but you can save the sequences. All right. I'm going to get out of here. You show us something with the effects, can you?
Oh, yeah.
The purpose of a synthesizer is to provide a palette of things that you can use to make music or sound. This is very similar to the synthesizer that made the voice of R2-D2, for example, okay? But having the oscillators, having the filter, having the amplifier, the envelope generators, what we call transient generators, having the effects adds a lot to this. Having the sequencer, I'm going to play a little sequence here. And I'm going to turn up the speed, which is right here, right? So we can program that, we can play it back. But what's amazing is we can sync that sequencer with this sequencer or with the drum machine. So you can make it an addition to a drum machine, and that's interesting. What people mostly did with this synthesizer was they played lead or they played bass on this. This is a very popular bass synth. Many waveforms available. You have both square and sawtooth from both VCO1 and VCO2. You have pulse width modulation that's very sophisticated. You've got a drive circuit, okay? This is modern. This is not vintage. The drive circuit gives you that kind of distortion that you get on modern synthesizers. And it's great for something like that brass patch that we had there. So this has got MIDI in and out. It's got USB. It's got pedals. It's got high impedance and low impedance output. It's got an external audio input. You can take you can take the FX send from your mixer and use this effects box on your voice. Okay, so this is a very powerful palette especially for somebody who is not a rock star. This is for somebody who wants to learn electronic music, because this is old school. Okay, every time you have a patch, you have to make it up yourself. And this is really charming because the ARP ones had these little rubber plugs. These are adjustment points. And the most amazing thing about the Behringer Odyssey is that you're going to find it at the MAP discounted price of $499. That's a lot of synth for that much money, okay? But it looks like an Odyssey, it programs like an Odyssey, it sounds like an Odyssey, the signal path is 100% analog, and it's a super solid build. So I'm impressed with this. You know, the original Odyssey was $2,000, and it was not this well built, didn't have these many features. Now, a lot of electronics have gone down in price, but what Uli Behringer did, oh yeah, you can dim those. What he did was he applied modern circuit building to the synthesizer. Sure, this is a complicated circuit, but it's nothing compared to this, okay? This is probably 1,000,000 times more complicated than that. Why? Built in China. So, you know, that's a value point. Engineering is all done in England and Germany, now in Italy as well.
There's a team in Italy.
Italy. So we are getting constantly new designs coming through. So what would you say about this as an ARP Odyssey? Do you want one?
Yes.
Okay, I want one. And if you're into vintage gear, this is a super great product. Okay, I'm really impressed with it. In fact, I'm impressed with all the ones we made this time.